4 tips talking round 2 tennis plays. This has to be one of my earliest videos, and Alex, I see that there's light behind you. Normally it's dark.
Yeah, it's daytime. It's 3:25 right now where I am, and it's the first time I think that I started 2-3 years ago doing videos with you. It's the first time making a video daytime.
I know. 7:30 in the morning. I think this is one of my earliest videos. Listen, we've got to get these tennis picks out. We've got to give our viewers something to look at before obviously the matches begin. Let's quickly talk though. I can't believe it. You know, it's early days. It's a couple of days in, and already the Australian Open has claimed some tennis lives over on the men's side. John Isner. Women's side, Venus Williams. I think Venus Williams is my biggest shock. I actually thought that she would go quite far in the competition, even was one of my sneaky dark horses. I cannot believe it. We did say that it's very unpredictable. We did say to tread with caution. I didn't think that it was this unpredictable.
Yeah, and if you were seeing the odds for Venus Williams to play with Belinda Bencic when they played in the first round, they were 1.9, 1.9 there. Balanced, very balanced odds. Yes, because the bookies already know that Venus Williams has an age. Belinda Bencic had an incredible start of the year, and it was a really tough match for Venus. It's not her favorite tournament. Yes, she was finalist last year, but here she is losing in the first round. This is the biggest upset in the first round on the women's side. And as you mentioned, also we have one big upset in the men's side, John Isner being out of the competition, very surprisingly losing to Matthew Ebden.
Yeah. Does this sort of like looking forward now with your predictions, does this make you sort of like a little bit nervous? Could this be sort of the tournament of major upsets here, making it even more unpredictable than usual?
Look, on the men's side, I don't know if we will see a lot of upsets, but we have some interesting matches in the second round, starting with Djokovic versus Monfils. This is one of the best matches of the second round. Also, the French star player Jo-Wilfried Tsonga playing with the youngster Canadian Shapovalov that we predicted him to win in the first round. This will be another interesting clash. But for sure, on the women's side, we will see more upsets with every round that is passing. Second of all, I want to tell you that Simona Halep is through to the next round, but not without problems. She has an ankle injury, and she suffered an ankle injury in the first round, and she will play with Bouchard in the second round. So a very, very tense match. One of my picks from the women's side comes from that match. But also Petra Kvitova today, a few hours ago, lost with Petkovic. This is another major upset in the tournament till now.
Yeah, I have to say, obviously, when it comes to tennis, I take more of a presenting role. I listen to you guys, I take some of your picks, but me, myself, I just find it so difficult. So I'm glad we've got experts to hand. We've also, as well, people do ask where Joao is. He writes articles for us over on Bookmakers Review. He will be with us sporadically through a couple of videos. But so if you do want to head over bookmakersreview.com, there's an article, Alex, which actually Alex has tweeted out on Bookmakers News, the Twitter there. And so the plays for today, we've got Karlovic versus Zugita, and he's going for Zugita on the money line. Do you have any thoughts on this match?
I predict a long match. Yes, one of my tips is coming from that match. Always, I'm following Joao with interest because he's, from my point of view, the best tennis tipster that exist on the internet. I think that he has a lot of knowledge, great experience predicting tennis tips. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us on every video, but like Natalie said follow us on Bookmakers News on Twitter and also on Odds Market, because we are giving tips for daily tips for the Australian Open. But not only, we are giving also football tips where we are the experts. But yes, I hope that Joao will join us soon. I really love that play. Unfortunately, the odds for Sugita to win dropped a lot in the last hours. He took it really good when the line opened, but now I think that Sugita is priced at 1.6, which I will not take. For that match, I predict a long match, and one of my top tips is Karlovic versus Sugita over 42.5 games on the Asian handicap at 1.83, because Karlovic is the best server in the history in tennis. He's old, 36 years old. You will not say that, but still he has over 2 meters, and he can serve at his best level in any match, and an impressive average of one ace per game, per serve game in Australian Open and in 2017. Impressive, but I think that Sugita has the first chance on winning that match also.
All right, got old at 36. Hey, there's no hope for us. But all right. Also, are you giving over on Bookmakers News? I know you're giving your tips. Are you going to keep a track of your record, and are you also in playing?
No, I'm not in playing because the Australian Open. I'm following the second part of the day, because Australian Open starts at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. my time. So very early in the morning.
That's like the time you come back from the pub, Alex. What are you talking about? It's perfect. Go for a few drinks, come back, make some tennis betting. Actually, but you'll have to be sober. But yeah, it's not too bad for you.
Yeah, but that will happen most of all in the weekend time, Friday and Saturday. You know, that's the time I'm going out to the pub. Unfortunately, I'm on a diet right now, and I'm on a diet also with the drinking. 1 month away from drinking. Hope it will keep me alive. I'm sure that we will come back on normal. Of course, from the quarterfinals and after, I will be on tweeting about the Australian Open live, because it will get very interesting. But I'm giving my daily tips on Odds Market, on Bookmakers News, on Twitter. And Armin Bulajic is asking me why I think that Jumur has so high odds against Millman. Millman did an impressive round against Bjorna Choric, won that match. Unfortunately for us, Bjorna Choric lost that match. It was one of my top picks from day one. This is why I think that he has so high odds, because John Millman right now is at his top level of play, and Jumur started the year on the left foot. But you never know what will happen on the Australian Open.
All right. So listen, let's get to it now. Your round two women's picks, please.
Women's picks, yes, Halep versus Bouchard. I'm predicting a really tough match for Halep. Also, giving the fact that she has an ankle injury, and Bouchard always she's performing at her best level on Grand Slams. I'm going Bouchard plus 6 games on the Asian handicap price at evens with Pinnacle. And for my second predictions, I'm going Caroline Garcia, the French Caroline Garcia, to beat Vodrusova at 2-0 correct score at 1.9. And another match which I will follow for sure is Sharapova versus Sevastova, one of the most interesting matches of the second round. These two girls, let's say, women's, if you want to say it, played each other 2 times last year. One time Sevastova won at US Open. Both times long matches, 2-1 for Sevastova at US Open and 2-1 for Sharapova at Beijing. So it should be another long match, which I will be watching for sure.
Okay, awesome. And also, just to reiterate again, bookmakers news. Alex is will be giving other sort of daily tips as well that he won't have mentioned on here as of when they come up. Okay, over on the men's side as well, what have you got?
Men's side, two interesting matches that I specified earlier. Must-see Djokovic versus Monfils. So we should live in play betting that match. Also, Shapovalov versus Tonga is a match to follow. But my top picks come from other two matches. Karlovic versus Sugita, as I mentioned, over 42.5 games on the Asian handicap at 1.83, and also Carreño Busta to beat Gilles Simon at
All right, fantastic stuff. We'll be back on Thursday for round 3 picks, and that's also with the whale capper as well. We'll take a look at how Alex has been doing with his tips, both on Bookmakers News odds market and also the tips that he's given here. Do join us live. Obviously there's a ton of matches, but any matches that you've got questions on, just ask us, and we, especially Alex, will be happy to answer those. Once again, buddy Alex from Need for Tips, thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on Thursday. Well, I'll see you Wednesday as well, Premier League punters. Take care.
Thank you. Best of luck. Take care.